Our top focus story, India's first indigenously manufactured nuclear-powered and nuclear-capable submarine INS Arihant has completed its first sea deterrence patrol. This is a huge game changer in this region and shows India's big military muscle. Along with the S-400 missile shield, the Rafale aircraft that India is all set to acquire, Prime Minister Narendra Modi made this big announcement on Dhanteras, warning enemies of peace and a country. Shiv Arur and I with our top story. "20 years after the Pokhran nuclear tests in 1998, completed the triad with INS Arihant completing its first sea deterrence patrol.
न्यूक्लियर ट्रायंगल की सफल स्थापना पर
The announcement made by Prime Minister Narendra Modi himself on Dhanteras 2 days before Diwali.
आप लोगों ने देश को इस दीपावली पर अरिहंत के सफल अभियान के रूप में एक ऐसा अनूठा अनुपम उपहार दिया है जो भारत के इतिहास में बेमिसाल है।
INS Arihant is a 6,000-ton displacement, indigenously manufactured, nuclear weapon-capable, nuclear-powered submarine. It took almost 30 years and many difficulties to overcome to make the nuclear submarine. This was India's top-secret advanced technology vessel project that has propelled India to an elite group of only 5 countries that so far have nuclear submarines. India is only the 6th country after the US, Russia, France, UK and China to manufacture and operate nuclear submarines.
सारा भारत आपका कृतज्ञ है कि आपने पिछले लगभग 1 माह के दौरान हमारे परमाणु त्रिकोण के तीसरे कोण को अभूतपूर्व सफलता के साथ स्थापित कर दिया है।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi sent out a warning to inimical forces in the region.
भारत शांति प्रिय देश है। शांति और सद्भाव की हमारी परंपरा हमारी ताकत है। ये हमारी कमजोरी नहीं। भारत किसी को छेड़ता नहीं, लेकिन अगर कोई भारत को छेड़े तो भारत उसे छोड़ता भी नहीं है।
India so far had Agni ballistic missiles and Mirage 2000 fighter jets to deliver nuclear cargo. India has now added INS Arihant to complete the triad and, more important, the second strike capability.
Till now, there were only 5 countries in the world that had the underwater deterrent, that is the United States, Russia, UK, France and China. Now India joins this select group of 6 countries, and it would send the appropriate signal to India's interlocutors about the credibility of the deterrent.
India plans to make 4 more Arihant-class nuclear submarines, and the newer variants will be more advanced and will have more enhanced capabilities to launch ballistic missiles from 700 to 3,500 kilometers range. With Shiv Arur in Delhi, Gaurav Sawant, India Today. Now, with this deterrence patrol, the command and control system and chain of command were also tested during operations. The Prime Minister, incidentally, takes the ultimate decision should the need be to press the nuclear button and should there be a need for a retaliatory strike. Today, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said there is no bigger yagya than protecting the country. The sailors, the scientists, the technicians and others engaged in the INS Arihant project are a part of that yagya for nation building.
देश के दुश्मनों के विनाश के लिए और हमारे देश की रक्षा के लिए आप सारे अभियान में और अभ्यास में जुटे हुए थे। आपका ये अभियान श्री और समृद्धि की सुरक्षा और संरक्षा के लिए एक तपस्या तो है ही है। हमारे परिवेश में परमाणु हथियारों की बढ़ोतरी के बीच देश की सुरक्षा के लिए क्रेडिबल न्यूक्लियर डिटरेंस बहुत आवश्यक है। अरिहंत का अर्थ है दुश्मन को नष्ट करना। अरिहंत की सफलता देश के लिए एक बहुत बड़ी, एक बेमिसाल उपलब्धि है। देश की सुरक्षा के लिए एक बहुत बड़ा कदम है। अरिहंत भारत के दुश्मनों के लिए, शांति के शत्रुओं के लिए एक खुली चेतावनी है कि वे भारत के खिलाफ कोई दुस्साहस न करें।
Joining me now on the broadcast is Admiral A.K. Singh, former Naval Officer Commanding-in-Chief at the Southern Naval Command, a submariner himself, Ambassador Ashok Sajjanhar, former diplomat. My first question is to India Today's consultant editor, Shiv Arur. Shiv, this is a big day for the Navy and for the country. As cub reporters, Shiv, you and I, we used to hear of this advanced technology vessel almost in hushed tones. Today, the triad is complete. Is the Arihant today, Shiv, a fully potent, a capable nuclear weapon platform?
Well, it's certainly a capable nuclear weapons platform, Gaurav, and like you rightly said, the triad has in fact been complete. Even though I think it's important to note here that the true strategic strength of this submarine will come when it gets its more potent K4 missiles, which will are still under trial right now, and it will probably be inducted at a later stage. Currently, this particular submarine travels with a slightly lower range missile, which are also nuclear capable and are also of deterrent value against India's adversaries, particularly Pakistan. But like you rightly said, a secret program from the 80s that has finally come into fruition and become a deterrent platform of this kind. I can't wait to hear what people like Admiral A.K. Singh have to say, one of our veteran submariners who've been very deeply involved in India's submarine program. This will certainly be a day of pride, and they will have a great number of inputs about what platforms like this can do.
And Admiral A.K. Singh, as a veteran submariner, what are your thoughts today? And what were your thoughts when Prime Minister made this big announcement?
I think it's a truly historic day. The Prime Minister said it all. You see, it's not only entering the P5 club of nuclear submarine operating nations, it's a political statement to the world that this is our technological capability and this is our operational capability. It is also a bargaining chip to when we talk to other nations that India has a certain capability and we will not submit to nuclear blackmail. It is also the completion of the deterrent patrol also indicates that not only has the submarine and a crew been checked out, but I suspect the entire organization ashore, which comes into play in case the submarine has to actually conduct a real patrol during times of tension and war, that has also been tested.
So that would mean the Prime Minister downwards, the Prime Minister, the entire chain of command, the Strategic Forces Command, down to the captain of the submarine?
I suspect so. This is my belief because the Prime Minister has chosen his words very carefully. He has called it a deterrence patrol completed, which means everything has been tested and checked out.
Okay. Ambassador Sajjanhar, the Prime Minister said this is a signal to enemies of peace and those who indulge in nuclear blackmail. So is this, without naming Pakistan, a very clear signal
to Pakistan, because that's the country in our neighborhood that indulges in nuclear blackmail.
No, absolutely. I think it's a very strong message. It's a very strong signal. And particularly, Gaurav, as you said, without naming Pakistan, it definitely points towards Pakistan because, Pakistan has always been saying it realizes India is superior to it in conventional weapons. And if were there to be a conventional warfare, then Pakistan doesn't stand anywhere. And that is why it has been making threatening noises to say that, our nuclear weapons are not to be kept in showcases or not to be, they are not museum pieces. So this is nuclear blackmail that it has been trying to employ against India. And I think this is a very strong message. And as the Prime Minister, you mentioned, Shivarur also mentioned, that as the Prime Minister has said, that this lends credibility to India's no first use policy, and also gives much greater credibility to India's second strike capability.
Yes.
So I think this is very, very important, and it is important for Pakistan. We have two missiles that can be fired 700 kilometer, and as Shiv said, the K4 3,500 kilometer range capability. Yes. So they might not be
Shiv,
as strong, as powerful as some of the others
absolutely.
that
And
the
Shiv,
P5 club have.
The fact that
they are
Arihant
strong
is just
enough to meet our requirements.
Oh, absolutely. Arihant is just the first of the 5 nuclear-powered and nuclear-capable submarines that India hopes to, put out at sea soon. Arihant next, and then Aridhaman. Is there a timeline that we have through sources?
Well, Gaurav, we know for a fact that the Aridhaman is currently being constructed right now. We know that Larsen and Toubro and the DRDO are all steeply, involved in the construction of the submarine. So it's probably just a matter of, a few years before the Aridhaman and the Arigat enter sea trials. The fact is, this is a much larger program, Gaurav. There are plans to build not just nuclear ballistic missile submarines of higher performance, but also nuclear attack submarines like the INS Chakra, the Akula class that we'd imported from Russia, taken on lease from Russia. India plans to build its own class of such nuclear attack submarines, which are not for deterrence, but are actually for conventional missions. So this is an elaborate, highly expensive program, that India has embarked on. It's trying to make it as indigenous as possible. The INS Arihant, we received a fair bit of help from the Russians. We're trying to make more of it as indigenous as possible going forward now.
Okay. Admiral AK is saying, Shiv was just talking about INS Chakra on lease from Russia, and INS Arihant are on. Their roles, their weapons, they're completely different for completely different operations, sir, but both equally required in the Indian Navy.
Yes, we require both. Arihant represents a strategic weapon. It belongs to the nation. It's meant for strategic deterrence. It's not meant for war fighting. INS Chakra is meant for war fighting. In simple terms, INS Chakra at sea in wartime will search for the enemy and destroy it. INS Arihant will avoid contact with any ships or any enemy or any friendlies and await the order to launch its missiles. That is the essential difference between these two. One is meant to fight, the other is meant to launch nuclear weapons when ordered by the National Nuclear Command Authority.
Okay. Pakistan, of course, does not have a nuclear submarine. It's desperately trying, Admiral AK Singh, to get what some describe is a poor man's nuclear submarine option through China. Would that then reduce India's advantage? How soon will that happen, sir?
Well, Pakistan is, initially they put some of these Babur missiles with a 500 kilometer range on some of their Chinese F-22 frigates. Now they have signed a contract with China for 8 Yuan class submarines. These are conventional submarines with air independent propulsion system. 4 will be bought from China and 4 will be made in Karachi. So between 2023 to 2030 or 2032, they will have 8. And I believe each of these will be carrying 3 vertical launched Babur nuclear tip cruise missiles with a 500 kilometer range. Their aim will be, like you said, a poor man's deterrence It will be to threaten our coastal cities. It will be something like what the North Koreans have done. They have put a missile on a conventional submarine. You cannot compare a conventional submarine, even with air independence propulsion system, with a nuclear submarine. A nuclear submarine is practically undetectable. A conventional submarine, once we get our P8s, more P8s, and get our ASW and our strategic anti-submarine warfare in place,
Yes.
they are not invulnerable second strike capabilities for Pakistan. And
Okay.
Pakistan just doesn't have the money to go for nuclear submarines.
And it's every day, it's getting into a worse shape. And Ambassador Sajanhar, diplomatically speaking, what does having a nuclear powered submarine with nuclear weapons capable submarine mean for India? Diplomatically, are we seen as more powerful? Are we seen as perhaps net security providers in the Indian Ocean region?
No, absolutely. I think that is the message that will go out because, a nuclear-powered submarine, one needs to realize, is a class apart from a normal submarine, a conventional submarine. Because in addition to the fact that it is extremely difficult to detect, a nuclear-powered submarine can stay underwater for a much, much longer period than a conventional submarine can stay. And the only reason why it needs to come to the shore and to the surface is when it wants to provide time to the crew, because
Yes.
they are fatigued, and to have a change of the crew.
Yes, but diplomatically
otherwise,
speaking,
because
yes.
of the nature of the submarine, it can really stay
Stay underwater
yeah,
almost
diplomatically speaking. I think
indefinitely.
it sends
Absolutely.
out a
Shiv,
indefinitely, yes.
Shiv.
And diplomatically, of course, it is in terms of the technology.
Yes.
It's a big technology. It's a quantum jump as far as technology is concerned, and this is the first indigenously manufactured nuclear-powered submarine. So I think in terms of nuclear capabilities, also it sends out a huge message to the world at large.
Okay, Shiv, so we intend to have longer sea legs. So with our aircraft carriers, P8Is, with our destroyers, with 2 nuclear submarines, the Navy has huge plans for more nuclear submarines, aircraft carriers, and for the role that's envisaged for India in the Indian Ocean region, Shiv.
Gaurav, it's very important for me to stress here, like Admiral A.K. Singh and the ambassador was saying, that the Arihant is a very different weapon system from the conventional systems that we have. Remember, the Arihant carries and will carry weapons of terrifying destructive power. And the true strength of a platform like the Arihant is in never having to use it. Because, if the Arihant, God forbid, ever needs to be used, it means India has come under nuclear attack. So diplomatically, strategically speaking, the true strength of Arihant is
Yes.
if we never ever have to use it. But like you rightly said, it forms part of the deterrent arsenal. India is expanding its conventional arsenal in a huge way. We're getting more aircraft carriers. We're building at least 2 of them in-house. We're getting more P8s, like the ambassador said. The Indian Navy
Yes.
has a large shipbuilding and ship acquisition plan as well. We recently, ordered for 2 more ships from Russia, in addition to many, many more. So this is an elaborate, very expensive and long-term plan.
Oh, absolutely. Shiv, Ambassador Sajanhar, and Admiral A.K. Singh, for the moment, many thanks for joining me. It's a big day for India. It only gets better in the days, weeks, and years to come as we grow as an economic power and as a military power. That is all I have time for on India First this evening. Many thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you will love to.